Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is Spawn of Azathoth. It was written by Doc Herber, and our game master is John Hook. This is episode 16. Our recap will be given by David Gassaway as his character, Professor Philip Baxter. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. David?
Thank you, Tom. It is a strange thing to lose one life and be granted another. I should not like for it to have been in vain. In the mayhem of the night before, the Book of Ibon, my brother's precious arcane tome, was left upon the mountainside while we sped Cordova into town for medical care. We'd be seeing the doctor again soon. This morning we headed back up the hill to retrieve the book. A rabid bear was spotted, gorging horribly on the corpse of a stag. Also discovered on the scene was an even more crazed and injured Cordova, who had stolen a motorcycle in his urgent need to recover the book that obsesses him. Descending again with the text and the crazed historian, we were attacked by one of Sylvia's Dobermans, its eyes white and muzzle foaming. It got a couple of good bites out of me before we fended it off, the poor creature. It might have been the lucky one. Back in garrison, we got Zebedee sedated and me stitched up. We armed ourselves generously against further attack, and Cuthbert and Saladin left to drive Cordova to Helena for more intensive care. We were meant to speak to a fire warden on the mountainside, but stopped off to see Miss Thomas's mother on the way. Sylvia did not answer her door. We found her and her other dog inside the cabin. Her body was seated in a comfortable chair, the cap of her skull neatly removed, her brain wholly excised even to the eyeballs. The dog at her feet had been disassembled with remarkable, bloodless precision. Dr. Long found some clawed tracks outside, as though some enormous crustacean had been at the scene. What fresh madness is this?
Thank you, Dr. Baxter. I want to augment a little bit and stress that the time period spent in garrison was extended in order to dilate time a bit and give those who are transporting Zebedee to Helena time so that they're not going to be away for quite so long. So we're going to return to the adventure with the camera focused on Zeno Saladin and Cornelius Cuthbert as they bring Zebedee to his much needed medical care. And in the process, they end out, once in Helena, they end out meeting a friend of Zebedee's who happened to be visiting in the area for a conference or so. But let's bring the spotlight there. Gentlemen.
Is the spotlight where we're taking him to the doctor?
Yep.
Okay. Well, here's the doctors. Let's stop here and take Zebedee inside.
Doctor Augustine?
Cuthbert, is that you?
Oh, dear God, it is you. My God. What?
Oh, hang on a minute. I just need to go to my car very quickly. He goes to his car and he goes into the boot and he shuffles around and he comes out of 2 bottles of wine and he brings them over. Cuthbert, some wine for you, my friend. A bottle.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. Maybe just a little bit later. Poor Zeb.
No, yes, gift. Zeb, yes, Zeb.
Zeb's in a terrible way.
Oh, it is Zeb. Oh. Who is your friend here? Hang on.
I am called Zeno Saladin. I am a friend.
Oh yes, he's a friend. He's
You're the nut job who's been corrupting my friend.
No,
It is a matter of perspective.
Well, here is some wine for you. I saw there was two of you here, along with Zebedee. So have a bottle of wine, Mr. Saladin.
No, thank you. I do not need
Pl-
such a thing.
Well, I will leave it with Cuthbert because I do insist that you take the wine.
Oh, this is much appreciated, Doctor.
Um,
Yeah, Zeno, as strange stories as you may have heard of him, he has been very helpful.
He doesn't need to know that much about me. We need to get the Zebedee into the doctor's office.
Yes. If you two wait out here, and I will go deal with that. I know a few of the people here. I'm actually here on a conference, but I will make sure Zeb is looked after. If you give me 20 minutes, I will be in and out, and we can discuss further whatever. Zeb has been keeping me in the loop via some very weird letters, and I mean very weird letters.
I can believe that, Doctor.
But yes, I will be with you. And he takes Zeb off.
Cornelius, I don't like this man. We need to get out of here.
Oh, I know him. Zeno, Dr. Saladin. I know him. He's been of great help to Zeb and myself in the past. He's a good egg.
I don't know. Something about him frightens me.
Yes. I assume I've gone in, sorted out what me and John have discussed prior, and back out I come.
Yes.
So where were we, gentlemen?
This fine bottle of wine. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And Cornelius, make sure he takes the other bottle that I gave you. Please. Thank you. But yes, I could do with some filling in on, and I will show I show Cuthbert the letters that I bring out, nice and crumpled, and yes.
Oh my. Yes, this is just as I'd feared, Zeb. Yeah, we've been noticing Zeb come a bit unhinged as of late, but it may be surprising to hear that some of what he's mentioning in these letters is not that completely far off. It's quite some odd things happening up in the mountains near the observatory.
Odd. What kind of odd? Anything?
Well, some very, very strange. Some strange creature sightings. Not really sure what they are. There's been a lot of ruckus ever since the crashing of the meteors.
Creature sightings.
Yeah, not really sure what they are. It's I don't want to give in to some of Zeb's fanciful descriptions, but there have been some sightings worth of note. So we were actually trying to investigate a little bit of what's going on up there. As we were also visiting the brand new observatory. It's a fantastic facility, Doctor. I really recommend you come up with us and check it out if you're in the area for a while.
I'm sure the doctor does not have the time to come and visit us.
Oh, I have plenty of time on my hand. I go where I am needed, and if you're on about creatures, usually things that are happening away from a town or something, it's usually some crazed madman who's gone wild, maybe grown out their hair, and they just need help.
If you were come along with us, maybe you could sort of see what stemmed some of this from Zeb. This might help you get new insight to how he might be helped, maybe.
Yes, to be fair, what I've got from Zeb's writings, he was talking about some weird dreams as well. He didn't go into details. He was raving, but it reminded me of a patient who used to talk about ghouls. And yes.
Really?
Yes. It's odd.
What
Very
nonsense.
What nonsense! Yeah, that does sound rather. That wouldn't. I mean, I know you can't talk about such confidential things, but
No, I can't go into details.
No, of course he can't.
yeah, I have heard some speaking of ghouls and such before. It was quite disturbing to hear people go on about such things.
Yes. What is up with you, Mr. Saladin? Why are you covering your face?
I am catching a cold.
Well, I am willing to accompany you, Cuthbert, and
Thank
Mr.
you so much.
Saladin. Just to let you know, Cuthbert, obviously it's been a while since I last seen you. Zeb will be taken care of. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you so much. He's a good man and a good friend, and I just hate to see him in such a way.
But yes, we will make sure he's fine. Well, they will make sure he's fine. Before we go, I must make a quick stop. But I will follow. If you follow me in my car, and then you can take, and then I will follow you to this.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, sure.
Observatory.
We are expected back, so we can't dawdle too long. But thank you, Dr. Augustine.
Yes, and you've got to keep the wine hush hush. You know how
definitely.
it is. Yeah.
But thank you so much. This looks so tasty.
Yes. So yeah, I will go back to my hotel room and I will get my things and put them in the back of my trunk, and then I will be ready to go with Cuthbert and Saladin.
So as Dr. Augustine goes out of earshot, Zeno, what's wrong? It seems like you met him before?
I told you I don't trust this man. You just need to go. I don't know why you would invite him.
Oh, he's actually, we've known him for a long time. He's a good man. He's helped Zeb and I before. You know, fresh out of the war. We've known him for some time. He's never steered us wrong.
Well, I'm not interested in this man.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll do my best to keep a minimum of contact between you two.
Fine.
Are we ready to go, gentlemen?
Oh, yes. Let's.
All right. So you guys are going to be returning to Garrison in 2 separate vehicles, right? All right. So momentarily, we'll move the camera back to Garrison and meet with Edith and Philip and Frederick. You guys are still at Sylvia's cabin.
And if you just so happen to have a camera with you, I don't know if it's worth trying to take a picture of these prints.
I wonder if there isn't some plaster mix or concrete at the observatory from the recent construction that we could use to make copies of them before they're trampled or it rains too much. It seems difficult to photograph something without, professional lighting and the like that would indicate really how it appears.
That's a fair point, Doctor.
Ms. Thomas, do you think that there is construction material of that nature remaining at the facility?
Say if there isn't, then for sure Hank should have some at his shop.
Yes, you certainly will. How are you feeling, Ms. Thomas?
It's a lot to take in. I feel like I don't even know how to react right now. It just feels unreal. Like, what did this? Who did this? Why? She was a cantankerous old woman, but it's not like she had enemies.
Well, perhaps whoever it was she was assisting with her trips out into the woods decided they needed her for something else.
Or there was a
That's-
misunderstanding. We've all
Yeah.
heard tales, of
What?
course, of, say, missionaries who have good relations with natives in far-flung lands until
Mhm.
they end up in a stew pot, or that sort of generally exaggerated, but occasionally real. I mean, given that what Cuthbert and Zebedee thought they saw, she seems to have been consorting with something that wasn't entirely human.
Yes. What? Did you get a good look at it? Did either of you get a good look at it?
No.
Whatever it was they said. No, I didn't either.
The thing that they described, I don't fancy as
Mm.
a skilled surgeon, especially one who could get in so tiny a space without disturbing anything. So whatever it was that Cornelius and Zebedee thought they saw is not the perpetrator of what occurred inside the house.
Well, whatever did this, I would like to see justice brought or something, answers at least.
Certainly. Should we go to the? I don't know what the local practices are. Do you think that that Buffington will have the sheriff up here shortly, or should we go to the observatory? You could radio Hank and indicate that there's a more urgent matter afoot, and then perhaps you can lie down or something.
I don't mean to be terribly disrespectful, but getting the sheriffs involved, I mean, what if they... I don't know, the bizarre nature of this, if they start
What
poking
would
around,
they-
they might interfere with our own.
I don't know the sheriffs would know what to do with this. Can't imagine they see much crime at all around here.
No, I should think not, and certainly nothing as bizarre as this. My first instinct was also not to involve the authorities, but then what? How do we let things stand?
I don't know.
We know that she's in arrears at the mercantile,
Mm.
so maybe Hank would come and visit her and come across the scene himself. It'd be best, I think, if someone who was informed beforehand came to deal with the matter, but I don't know who that should be.
Sylvia wanted to be buried on this farm. I know that. But an investigation, I don't. What use would a sheriff be for this awful thing? I don't. Maybe they'd call the doctor. I don't know if the doctor could tell us anything either.
Yes, and if Sylvia simply disappeared, you know, she's deep in debt with no way out. I mean, what other, you know, that gives her a strong motivation to skip town if she were merely never seen again.
Well, there's the matter of her truck,
Oh,
you know, and how much we wish to falsify evidence about what is on some level certainly a crime, although, you know, I don't think that this was an escaped lunatic who took Daisy apart with such meticulous care.
I think my mother deserves better than an unmarked grave and no answers as to what did this to her. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
So you guys are still at Sylvia's house. Is that you're going to spend more time there? Do you want to find a way to If anybody has chemistry as a skill, you might be able to assemble household chemicals to create a slurry in order to do a footprint impression here. If not, you probably would need to go someplace to get those types of supplies, plaster of Paris of a sort, if you want to do that. Otherwise, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I don't have the chemical know-how to do this. And again, once law enforcement gets involved, our opportunity to look into any of this here is going to be limited. So we should do whatever else we're going to do here. We should do it before we contact the sheriff's department.
I agree. Let's first things first. I don't even want to go back in the house. Let's focus, and I think we should. I think you're right, Dr. Long. We should go get something to encase these footprints.
Whatever these footprints are, they had to have come from somewhere.
Mm.
I wonder how far we can follow them.
It's a pity that the trained dogs are unavailable.
So with my very poor skill in track keeper, I would like to make an attempt to follow.
Go right ahead.
That's my second successful track roll. Believe it or not, with a base with a 10, but I rolled a 5. So let's follow these like a hound dog.
See, I with my 23, I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I said it, and I don't know how to go about doing it.
But Professor Baxter, you have a keen eye for the way these are impressed on the earth, and you feel like you can tell the difference between heel and toe, if you will, and you're able to follow in the direction that they're going. They do go a little bit of a distance. They seem to make not a full circumference, but they seem to be like walking around the cabin, and then they start to head away towards the nearby wood line, but then they just simply stop, as if they made a great leap or something, but the tracks themselves just simply stop and go no further, about 10-15 feet away from the house. And it doesn't look like there's any rock outcroppings or trees. It wasn't like they played the floor as lava kind of thing. It just simply stopped, and you don't know why tracks would just simply end.
Maybe they swung out from the branches of a tree. Do I get the impression of a number of the visitors that cased the joint?
What kind of success did you have on your tracking roll?
Well, I got it by 50%.
So you had a hard success?
So I have a hard success on the dot.
It looks, from your count, if the tracks are paired in a biologically logical sense, meaning that they seem to be symmetrical, you feel like 4. You feel like you're counting 4 distinct sets.
Wow. Okay, a large party.
They all just vanished here.
Yeah, and appeared here as though.
Do you have a sense of their size, Baxter?
Again, they're heavier than I am, heavier than Sylvia was, heavier substantially than the dog. But whether they're short and portly or tall and broad.
And again, with your hard success, you probably suspect that they're not larger than a horse, but certainly bigger than a man. So, in a human's perspective, big.
Right. Again,
I can't imagine something that big just flying off.
No. Perhaps if it is perhaps the creature that Cuthbert and Cordova saw didn't appear intelligent because of its injuries, but it seems like it's roughly the right size to be this. And if it's something like an ape, maybe it leapt from the trees. We're speculating nonsense.
These look like crabs, like crustaceans of some sort.
And I want to ask a real quick question, if I may. So Dr. Baxter and Dr. Long, you guys are together outdoors, kind of following where the tracks are leading, if I'm understanding correctly. Edith, where are you?
I'm with them. I didn't.
You are. So the three of you are together.
Right.
Okay. Pardon my interruption. Please continue.
It's good to know. Go on, please.
I mean, there are 4 of these things, and Cornelius and Zeb only saw one of whatever they saw. So when Sylvia referred to it they out there in the woods, this is the first, I would say, group of anything we've seen out here, whatever they are.
Yes, if this is the family she was feeding, they certainly were ungrateful. Ms. Thomas, do you think you're up for driving us to the observatory to poke about for some cement or something?
Yes.
One thing, okay, I know something that a medical coroner could tell us. How was Sylvia sedated? You said there wasn't much of a struggle, right? I can't imagine one just sitting down in a chair calmly as somebody takes your brain out.
No, she didn't. It didn't look like there was any struggle or anything of the sort. Just like
poison, a sedative. What do they use?
And most poisons.
Professor Baxter, you say these footprints, they look almost like crustacean in nature. I'd gotten the impression from Dr. Saladin that these
Sasquatch,
they're
something
like apish, mammalian. I feel like they're kind of two different.
Well, it does seem. Well, Occam's razor suggests that we should only have one inhuman presence, but the description suggests 2 different things. Perhaps they're chimeras with monkey heads and bear bodies and crab feet, or some other comical, unlikely biological medley.
You all seem to have a lot more experience with this, or you've seen the strange and unusual before. Would you know of anyone that could examine this and tell us more?
Well, there is somebody I've seen in the woods hereabouts who might be able to fill us in if we could find him. An albino Native American man.
Interesting. I haven't heard any mention of such a man. Well, let's get this taken care of. John, would I know for sure if there is concrete at the observatory? Because if not, I'll just take him to town. You
believe that the shed on the grounds of the observatory does contain some materials that could be used to do exactly what Dr. Phillip is thinking about. You could make a frame, fill that frame with some concrete, or maybe there's a plaster in there, and get a mold and take these footprints. So yeah, you can get all that from the observatory.
I'm hoping, gosh, we're not far from the observatory. I'm hoping whatever did this to Sylvia didn't turn around and do it to Dimitri and Vasily.
Indeed. I'm glad that we've picked up these firearms in case we should find the place has also been breached.
So
let's go.
It's hard to speculate on inhuman motivations, but what would they want with Dimitri and Vasily? Then again, it's hard to say what they wanted with Sylvia to begin with. So,
and what is there a relationship to the rabid animals, or is that yet another unexplained phenomenon? Oh, all right. Off we go.
So as you guys head back to the truck, I would like all 3 of you to please make a listen roll.
And 95. I am listening to the sound of my own heartbeat at the moment.
I've got a 10, which is only a hard success. I'm not much of a listener, actually.
Failure on my part.
As you guys are clambering into the truck, Dr. Baxter, you feel like you hear on the wind almost like this strange echo of like a swarm of bees. There's some kind of in the air, and it fades away just as you're kind of getting in and shutting the door.
There shouldn't be. Did either of you hear that buzzing sound?
I'm afraid not.
It's the wrong time of year for bees to be swarming. Very curious. It was loud enough noise to be. I don't know, maybe it's.
I said the flying away as a joke. Certainly.
Yes, I don't think our cumbersome visitors are bees, of course. Perhaps it's. Have you noticed cicadas or anything, Miss Thomas? Grasshoppers?
Cicadas. No, I don't. No.
Well, I'll listen when we get up the hill.
So you guys decide to leave and head back to the observatory?
Yes.
All right. So you guys begin to drive away. And you guys spent more time at Sylvia's home doing the searching of the grounds and everything, trying to do the tracking and all that. I want to convey, or at least make clear for our listening audience, that there was a lot of time spent at Sylvia's home, because at that exact same time, Zeno, Cornelius are driving back to Garrison in their vehicle, and Dr. Augustine is following closely behind in his vehicle, and you guys are now caravanning into Garrison. And you pull up at the mercantile post office, run by I forgot his name.
Buffington.
Hank Buffington.
Quaint little place, as I get out the car.
Oh yeah, we're not quite there yet. Oh, look over there. Dr. Long, Edith, Dr. Bax or Dexter.
They're not here.
Oh.
They're up in the hills. They're at Sylvia's home. They're getting ready to leave to But Hank Buffington is here.
Oh,
right.
Remember, your vehicles are not equipped to go for off-roading up into the mountain.
Hello, sir. I walk into and just shout, "Hello! Anyone here?"
Well, hello, welcome. As Buffington comes out. 10-gallon hat.
Hi, I've been told about you, Mr. Buffington, yes?
Yes, indeed. Well, welcome. And I assume you're coming in with Saladin and Cuthbert?
Yes, I also brought a box of chocolates with me.
Okay.
I got out of my boot.
I'm staying in the car.
Okay.
Yes, I am Dr. Arlo Augustine III, and pleasure to meet you, and here are some chocolates. These are for you. Please take them.
Well, very kind of you. The missus will be quite pleased.
Yes, I hope you enjoy them.
Well, gentlemen, what can I help you with?
Do you know if there's any way to contact Edith's mom, Sylvia's place? Wondering
Well,
if, I'm trying to contact Edith right now. We wanted to get back up to the observatory.
Certainly, you can use the shortwave and contact the observatory, or I've got some horses that I can lease to you if you wanted to borrow some mounts and ride up there.
Oh, I don't know if everyone here can ride. Maybe just borrow the shortwave. And
certainly, I forget myself. The city folk don't always learn how to ride. Well, not a problem. Yeah, shortwave's right over here.
Thank you. Right. Oh, yeah. No, don't know how to ride. Okay. Do I reach them?
Yeah, so you start squelching for the observatory, and you get not Dimitri, but the other gentleman. He answers and says, Vasily. And he says in his broken English, heavily accented Russian, oh, good day, doctor. How are you?
Oh, well, thank you so much, Vasily. This is Cornelius Cuthbert. We were just up there earlier. I was hoping we're down in Garrison. Have they returned yet with the truck? If we could get a ride, we can't drive all the way up there. We'd be most interested if there'd be some way we could arrange transport there. Is that possible?
When Edith returns with your friends, I will let them know.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you so much. We will be in and around the mercantile store, the main store here. Thank you.
Very good.
Cheers.
Yeah. And he hangs.
Cuthbert.
Hey, Dr. Augustine, thank you again.
What is wrong with your friend out there?
Which Zeb or Zeno?
Well, Zeb's not here. But the one I know, I could tell he's a little bit not right, but you may be able to help me here.
It just takes a while sometimes to get Zeno to open up to you. I give him time. I'm sure he just likes to be more by himself. He approaches the world with more of an eye to the mysterious and rather than more of a scientific approach. So he might take a moment or two to build trust with.
Yes, true. It might be the tie. He might not like the tie. That's why.
It might be the tie.
Yes.
So I just radioed the observatory. So once Edith gets back with her truck, we might be able to be picked up and driven up there, so you can see this area that I've been speaking of.
Well, I'm definitely fascinated about seeing an observatory. Also, quick question, Cuthbert. How many people are at the observatory?
Well, let's see. I think there's a couple of scientists, a technician, Edith. She's really good, top notch, and some of the party that I came here with, the party that funded most of this or had it built, the observatory, are here too. A Dr. Long and a Dr. Dexter is up there too.
Yes. Okay, so five people. That's good to know. 5 people.
Are you counting for any particular reason there, Doctor?
No, Cuthbert. Why would I do that?
Well,
you know
were
me.
Just doing it. But it's all good. It's all good.
You know me, I like to be a bit friendly. In the trench, remember, I used to go around with all the rations and make sure everyone had them. And then if they didn't, I would give them some of mine.
Yeah, thank you again. You lifted the morale quite a bit.
Yes.
But yeah, there have been some very strange things going up in these parts, and I don't. I'd rather you see this stuff for yourself rather than me try to explain it to you. Some of it just sounds a bit much.
It's probably a rational explanation. There always is when you start hearing about Mothmen and dragons and random things like that.
Oh yeah, that's what we're searching for.
I've heard it all.
Yeah, we are hoping to find rational answers here.
Yes. Well, I'm sure we will. But how long do you work? I hope your friends aren't too long.
Oh, they didn't say, but it shouldn't be too long.
Well, Cuthbert, it's good to see you again. It's been far too long, and
we could break out a deck of cards and play while waiting, just like back in the day in the trench.
Yes, we could. You will probably beat me as usual, but I will give it a go.
Just for pennies.
Yes.
And Saladin, what do you plan to do while Cuthbert and Augustine are catching up?
Worry. I'm sitting outside in the car worrying.
Stay in the car and worry?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So soon enough, Edith, you and Baxter and Long arrive at the observatory. As the truck pulls up and comes to a stop, Vasile comes out of the observatory and flags you down.
Hi, Vasily.
Yes. Call came in from Mr. Buffington in Garrison. Friends have returned and are ready to be picked up.
Right. Okay. We need to get a few things from the shed, and then we'll be on our way to go get them.
Very good. And he heads towards the cabin. So you guys head over to the shed?
Yeah, I don't see any reason to dawdle unless Cuthbert and Long do.
Okay.
Well, I have my ears strained to near the breaking point.
Okay. And are you guys letting Edith do all the loading and unloading?
No, I want to check take a still moment between the truck and the shed to just listen to the early evening, late afternoon forest for.
Okay. Everyone can make a listen roll.
31 is a pass.
This one.
You strain your ears to the point where you feel like you are audibly probing the forest near you, and all you hear are sounds that you would expect. Birds chirping, wind blowing, rustling, that kind of thing, but nothing unusual.
Okay, that's comforting.
Maybe what I heard downstairs was nothing, or down the hill. Long, Miss Thomas. Well, we're in the shed. We're looking at sacks of materials, a shovel, a bucket. Yep. Ms. Thomas, I assume that there's a pump well or something of the sort on the property. I failed to notice. Yeah.
Sure.
Should we also bring down some sort of fuel oil, do you think?
For what?
Well, we could give your mother a decent burial and then cleanse the area.
There are several gallons of fuel in 5 gallon. There's probably like 5 gallon cans. Those are earmarked to be used on the generator or to fill up the construction vehicle. There's a tractor, not a tractor, but a bulldozer with the full glass cabin in the shed as well. Also, everyone give me a spot hidden, please, if you would.
22 is a hard success.
Regular for me.
Regular.
All three of you, as you're heading for the shed, and unlocking it, and not unlocking it, but opening it up and everything, you do notice in the ground near you more of the crustacean tracks.
Shit.
Well, that'll save us a trip to the house. And my, arson idea has a number of disadvantageous potential effects as well. So I guess we'll, I don't know, Dr. Long, do you want to accompany Ms. Thomas, or shall I and the other could stay here and cast these things?
Well,
Either way, we should both have our shotgun loaded and ready.
yes, I don't know who I'd be more worried about. Whoever is, I guess we have Dmitri and Vasily are here. I just hate to leave somebody alone with these things. My God, what are they doing here?
I don't think that
You want to bring these to Dimitri's attention. He might be interested, and then you'd have someone on hand to help.
Yeah, if Baxter, if you want to get Dimitri's assistance with casting these, I'll go back to town with Edith.
Yeah. How many vehicles are there at the observatory?
Just the one, Edith's truck.
So
I will point out,
and came out. We don't know where Dmitri is.
Right, he's around somewhere. But I will also point out just what's out there in case anyone, because I heard anyone mention it. Sylvia's truck is still at her house.
Oh, it sure is. Well, with as many people as we have, if any in your group can drive reasonably well, it might be advantageous. So we're not.
So perhaps if we drive back down, you can drop me off at Sylvia's, and I could take her truck to the fire tower. Not only talking with Bob up there. I wonder if he's seen anything, and I wonder if these tracks are around the fire tower too.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Should we fetch your companions first, and then if any of them want to come with you, they go up with you to the fire tower? Or is that something you want to do alone?
I don't want to overwhelm Bob.
Nor do we want to wait any longer than we have to check on Bob's well-being, given what we've seen here.
Yes, people in isolation don't seem to fare too well these days up here.
Well, then let's be off.
And I'll make sure to get my shotgun and some shells from the truck and see them off. And I'll go into the observatory and see if I can find Dmitri or Vasily.
Yep. So Dmitri is in the observatory. He's reviewing some documentation that's been collected, and he seems to be quite in depth in that. And Dmitri is also 60 years old, so he's kind of taking it easy. But Vasily, who is quite a bit younger, he's in his late 30s. He's happy to help you with the casting of those prints, and he's quite astonished. He's like, "Oh, I didn't even notice him. Is this deer? Is it stag that we're looking at?"
It is nothing it is no print that I would expect to find locally here. I don't recognize it, and that's why I want to cast them, so that we can get them to a university for identification.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So he helps you with the casting.
What's there for photography equipment at the observatory? Is it just stuff that's to be mounted on the
telescope has an integrated camera. So that's a full system that's built in. But then as far as just a handheld, there is one handheld, one brownie available.
Yeah, I have some experience with photography and some with cartography. I'm going to try to make a map of the prints as we go, casting them to see what we can.
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and do a photography, and then you don't have cartography as a skill, do you?
I do.
Go ahead and do both.
All right, so photography, not a success, not surprising. Cartography, I will spend 6 points to make it a success.
Okay. Yeah, the photograph, it'll still come out, but it's maybe slightly out of focus, and of course you won't realize that until after it's been developed. But you feel very confident about the map that you've made, and you can tell that these prints are concentrated around the observatory, and then they do kind of encircle the entire encampment at its outer edges. But it is around the observatory, around the shed, the storage shed. So there you go. So while you're doing that, Edith and Frederick are driving back, and I was unclear. Are you going to stop at Sylvia's to get the truck, or are the two of you going to just go straight to Garrison to get the gentleman?
We're stopping for the truck, I believe.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you guys stop for the truck. You can get Sylvia's keys. They were on a peg in the kitchen. So you can get the keys, and so you've got the truck, and now you have 2 4x4 vehicles that you can travel in. So are we splitting up? Is Edith heading to Garrison and Frederick heading to the fire tower?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So as you guys split up, Edith, let's follow you as you go down and pick up the gentleman. Cornelius, as you and Augustine are having a short game of whatever that you're playing, rummy, you begin to see some smoke in the distance, some dust trail, and then leading that plume of dust, you see Edith's truck. It's
that
approaching.
must be her. That must be Edith. That looks like her truck.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to put a few I won't bring all my things from my trunk, but I'll bring a couple of things. So we might be up there a while. So.
And I make sure that from the store I have some good items for a nice dinner for everybody up top.
Oh, perfect. Awesome.
Because I'm not quite aware of the horrors that have been discovered recently. I'm thinking shocking stuff, but people might have an appetite still.
Yep.
Cornelius, at some point you'll have to come back to my family home, and you get a nice meal cooked by my wife.
Oh, I'd love that.
And you'll get to see the little rascals, not the bastards, those money-hungry little bastards, but the younger ones, the nicer children.
It's been a while. Thank you.
Yes.
I run over and I jump in the back of the truck.
Come.
Augustine, why don't you give me a spot hidden, please?
Okay. Oh God, that's a fail.
Not a problem. Yeah, you observe Saladin clambering into the truck, and you're still a little perplexed at his antisocial behaviors.
What a very odd man. I would like to analyze that man, but very odd behavior.
And there is a young woman driving the truck.
Hello.
Did we pick up a new friend, Mr. Cuthbert?
Oh yeah, this is Dr. Augustine. After
Yes.
yeah, during the war, he knew Zeb and myself, and he had quite a good practice. He helped Zeb and myself after the war a bit. So we just happened to run into him when we were checking Zeb in to get some help, and Zeb was writing Dr. Augustine. So to make sense of what Zeb was writing about, invited him up here to take a look at the surroundings. I told him a little bit about some of the strange things that were going on here. He seemed interested.
Yes. I am Dr. Arlo Augustine III at your service. Bear with me a minute. I want to quickly put my things in the trunk, but before I do that, I go and here are some chocolates, Miss Thomas, I believe. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. Sure. I hope you enjoy them, and then I will put a few of my things in the back of the truck. And yes, a pleasure to meet you.
I apologize. You're kind of your arrival is in the middle of a rather chaotic time. We were dealing with a few different things at the observatory and the surrounding areas. I apologize. I know I seem very absent-minded right now.
Well, if you need anyone to talk to, I am a psychologist. I can maybe help you. If you need anyone.
Yes, perhaps later. Gentlemen, shall we be off?
Yes, I do. Yes, I want to see this observatory. Cuthbert was really selling me on it. So.
Well, then we'll head out.
All right.
Mr. Saladin, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. You ride up in the front where it's comfortable.
No, I like the nice air. I will sit in the back.
It's very dirty and dusty back here.
What's a bit of dust?
So I'll run back from the store. I ran back in to grab something real quick, a little hand axe. So coming back in. All right, all ready to go. Thank you so much, Edith. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, you guys clamber into the truck.
Edith, you seem really out of sorts. I know we were chased a bit coming back, but are you okay?
Dr. Long and Dr. Baxter, we went and checked on Sylvia, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Oh no, is she okay?
She's dead and brutal. It was.
Oh my God.
And the dog too. You said Dr. Augustine, is he a medical doctor? Maybe we couldn't make sense of what had happened. It almost seemed not possible, medically impossible.
Brief training. I have some medical training.
Are you talking through the window?
Yes, I'm shouting through them.
Is there a little slide thing, or is that hasn't been invented yet, has it?
It's just a solid pane of window.
Pretend I didn't say that. I will comment on that later.
Sign language.
And there were these strange footprints in the ground around her farm and in the observatory too. Dr. Long's gone to check on the fire watch. We're worried that whatever got to Sylvia might be targeting others in the area too.
Do you think it might be that what Zeb and I saw, those big like I think Zeno called them Sasquatch type creatures?
Well, you tell me, because the footprints almost seemed crustacean in nature, but it seemed like you all were describing something more mammalian. Yes, like an
It
ape?
was like a giant ape. It was like an 8 foot, 9 foot tall, really big ape.
That seems disparate to me. Like it's two different things. But then Dr. Long made the point that, or maybe Dr. Baxter, how likely would it be that two separate strange and unusual creatures would be in this area? I don't know. Well, let's get all of you settled.
Yeah.
Yes,
Excellent.
I don't.
So you guys begin heading back uphill, up into the mountains. Dr. Long, you are driving up that other roadway up towards the fire tower, which is you can clearly see up ahead of you. Very, very tall. It's on, it's basically, it looks like a square shack at the very top of some really tall scaffolding, right? So your vehicle is pulling up, and you see the giant metal legs of the fire tower scaffolding, set in concrete footings that are settled deep into the earth. I mean, this thing is quite sturdy, quite stable. And there's just a metal staircase that zigzags its way up through the guts of the scaffolding as it leads upward to the shack up at the top. As your truck comes up to park, there is a brown pickup truck that has some yellow stenciling on the sides, marking it as a forestry vehicle, Department of Forestry, state of Montana. And so as you get out of your vehicle, you hear a strange noise, and you look over, and near the edge of the tree line, you see about 5 or 6 robins, birds, red-breasted, brown-backed robins. But this collection of birds, this group of birds, they are sitting on the carcass of a fox, and the 5 birds are just violently pecking and smashing into the carcass of this fox, and they lift their heads at the sound of your footsteps crunching on the gravel, and you can see gore hanging from their beaks, and the 5 robins, their eyes milk white, they fly off as a group, and they fly off into the trees.
All right. It's affecting birds too. I look around the base of the fire tower. I want to look for those prints.
Okay, give me a spot hidden, please.
Ooh, a 14 is a hard success.
You do spot a few, not many, but few of those crustacean prints. But you also notice, again, this metal scaffolding. It's got all kinds of metal crossbars, for support and everything. And the stairwell is integrated in the scaffolding, support structure, but up about 20 feet up off the ground, kind of tucked into one of the corners where several metal beams come together to give this support to this great structure. You see some sort of strange, almost like a resin webbing, and tucked in that resin webbing, kind of held into the junction of these metal beams is a black oblong. It's not a sphere because it's oblong, but it's almost like a American football shaped and football sized object that is resined into the structure there.
The hell is that? I'm gonna call out. Hello.
I mean, the structure is very tall. It's 60 feet tall. I mean,
All right.
You have no confidence that your voice is going to carry all the way up there.
I'm gonna start shotgun in tow, making my way up.
Okay. All right, great. And it's a whole series of, up a flight, platform, up another flight, platform, zigzagging your way up and up and up and up. And along the way, along the course of going up, you find 3 more of those black football shaped objects resined to the structure here. The other 2 out of the 3 are just in the scaffolding itself. The 4th one that you find is resined to the underside of the building that's at the very top. So you see it just as you kind of go up through the platformed floor, and now you're on the observation deck that goes all the way around the square structure, the square box that's up at the top of this thing. And there's windows all the way around this thing, and there's a peaked roof. Go ahead and give me another spot hidden, if you would.
Whew. That's a 100.
So yeah, you're it's quite a sight up here, quite a sight. In fact, you can see that scar in the trees, that you mentally place yourself in that small little valley in there, and remembering looking up and seeing the scars from the ground level. Now you're up above and you can see, oh yeah, something came from the heavens and tore through those trees and landed right over there. But yeah, there's a door to this building up here, right there.
I'll knock.
Okay. There is no answer.
I open it.
It is not locked. You open it up, and you can see there's like you can see there's a boxed room, a couple of boxed rooms on the inside of this, but the main portion, it looks like it's an office of sorts. There's tables with lamps and things and chairs and paperwork and maps and all kinds of stuff, and this grand view out and all this stuff. And so as you come in, you can see that there's somebody in a chair on the other side of the room, but they seem to be slumped over in the chair. The chair is turned to where the back is facing you, but there's just this arm kind of hanging out off the one side of the chair.
Oh, fuck.
Hand dangling down towards the floor.
Moving forward. I shut the door behind me and I move forward.
Okay. You go and check on the occupant of the chair, and it is a gentleman, tall, thin, dressed in the uniform of a park ranger, slumped over in the chair with the top of his skull missing. His brain and eyes are missing, and you can see there's a little pool of brain juice inside the empty cavity of his skull. Make a sand roll.
That's a pass on sand. 50.
Lose 1.
This is what I was expecting, but oh dear God. Is there a radio in here?
Yes, there is a radio. You go over to check on the radio?
Yeah.
As you go over to check on the radio, you also see there's some paperwork kind of sitting there in front of the radio. So you see this letter, and it's double-sided. It seems to be typed on one side, and there's handwriting on the back side. This is the typed side.
All right. Dear Ian, it's been some time up here, and I've yet to get a good glimpse of things that we're looking for. I followed Sylvia England several times, but they've seemed to know when I'm around and stay away from her. I don't think she suspects, though. She is innocent enough and seems to have the same general motives as we. As agreed, I have not yet broached the subject with her. I've found more spoor and have had more chance sightings, but little else to report. Have you heard anything from our friends in Canada? One thing I've seen, and I'm a bit embarrassed to mention it, is what I image is Chief Joseph's ghost. He's no ghost, just some old mountain hermit. I suppose since he's stark white. Perhaps he lives in a cave somewhere, which would explain why his skin is so pale. I've seen him twice now, walking through the woods, but when I approach him, he quickly disappears. He knows this area like the back of his hand. No wonder I can't find him. Some of the folks in Garrison have seen him too, so I know I'm not losing my marbles, haha. I'm heading into Garrison tomorrow, and I'll drop this in the mail to you. Sorry, there's nothing to report. Sincerely, Robert Marshall. What were they looking for? Next day. Thought I'd better add some news to this before I drop this into the post. I don't know what was going on out in the woods last night, but it scared the hell out of me. About 10 o'clock, I had just finished reading some Robert Service and had turned the lamp down when I heard a voice calling from the edge of the woods. It was weird, Ian. It buzzed horribly, and I swear to God that it called my name. I don't know what it was, but I didn't go outside to check. I peeked out the window, but whatever it was stayed out of sight. It doesn't seem like much of a problem here in the sunlight as I write this, but I'll be sleeping lightly tonight. RM. Was there anything else? Any other documentation I can find?
Yeah, no other documentation that you can find. But there is the radio.
I'm going to call down to Garrison. See if Edith has made it down there.
Okay. Yeah, you get in touch with Buffington, and he's like, oh, Dr. Long, good to hear from you. Yeah, you just missed her. She came and picked up your friends.
Oh, well, that's all well and good. Thanks, Hank. I've been hearing some stories about a mountain hermit, a pale mountain hermit up here. Do you know of anybody in Garrison that's seen him?
There's been a couple of rumors about it. It's old Chief Joseph's ghost. It's just a fairy tale to scare the kids.
All right. Well,
don't tell me you've gone and started listening to fairy tales.
No. I just heard some people saying that they've seen somebody up here. I'm just curious.
Well, don't let them pull your leg. It's just a joke that some of the old timers like to tell.
All right. Well, thanks, Hank.
Not a problem.
All right. Calling to the observatory.
All right. You start squelching for the observatory. And Dr. Baxter, you can hear the radio making noise inside the observatory.
We're at this point. Okay. Observatory, this is Baxter.
Baxter, we have a problem. I'm at the fire tower, and it's as we feared. Somebody's coming to perform an operation on our ranger friend.
Oh.
There's strange growths on the structure. Apparently something was talking to him. Something with a horrible buzzing voice was talking to him from the woods. He has some papers here talking about it. I don't know whatever the hell these things are or why they wanted him. He was following Sylvia. He knew something. He and Sylvia knew something. They were going out into the woods. But I don't know what's on this tower with me, and I don't know what was talking to him from the woods. But
I don't like the word buzzing.
Buzzing. He mentioned that specifically, buzzing. A buzzing voice talked to him.
But I don't think what I heard was a voice, but I don't like the coincidence.
Listen, there's this and the malignity that's plaguing the animals. It's affecting birds too. I saw a flock of robins of all things devouring a fox.
Oh, that's not good. I didn't think the bear made sense. Even rabbit, I didn't.
But seeing birds foam at the mouth is something troubling. I didn't know it was possible.
No, rabies is a mammalian disorder, I'm sure.
Is when Edith gets that, I I sound so scared, but I don't want to leave this locked room of mine up here until somebody else gets here. I don't feel comfortable leaving.
No, it seems like individuals who are alone are in danger. So yes, we'll come and arrange for some kind of cohort. They are all around the observatory as well.
And the prince, the prince are here too.
I've begun trying to map out their course, but it seems as though they're scoping out the terrain as they did at Sylvia's place. So I think we're going to need to,
But I have a suspicion whatever it was that Sylvia was looking into and whatever Bob here was looking into has brought them to their fate. They got the attention of whatever these things are, but we might have to pay a visit up to Canada. There are some other people that seem to know about this. Bob was going to send them a letter. I have it, so we should be able to find the address of who he's going to send it to. We'll see.
That's interesting. If we could coordinate. Bob is a federal employee, right? Or is he
Forest Service?
I wonder if we'll have to figure out whether that's state or federal, but it's one thing to not bring in local authorities for a missing single woman of advancing years. But if we've got a government agent, it seems a much harder thing to keep quiet about, but we'll talk about it when we're all together. It looks like we're getting some good casts on the prince, at least. That'll be interesting. If you can think of anyone who would be interested in trying to identify an unknown creature from Strange Prince.
I know there are plenty of professors at Miskatonic that would kill for the opportunity, but I just get the feeling that we're going to see more than just cast prints of these things. I hope Edith hurries. And that's all. Just keep an eye out. I'm going to barricade myself in until you arrive.
Yeah, keep the shotgun handy, and you're at least in a position that should be defensible. We'll be in touch soon.
All right, long out.
All right, let's bring the camera back to the pickup truck as Edith is driving you guys back up, and you're now in the area near Sylvia's ranch, and you're approaching the fork in the road. If you were to go left, that heads towards the fire tower. Right is to the observatory, and of course Sylvia's ranch is right there. Or if you go continually really going off road, go straight ahead and even further uphill towards that that kind of ravine area that you discovered where you had the incident earlier
with the fallen tree
and that kind of stuff. The scarring in the trees where the rock from the sky fell.
Perhaps we should get your friend settled first at the observatory before we tackle anything else.
All right, that's a good idea, Edith.
Then we'll keep on to the observatory.
All right, you guys make the right turn and head up to the observatory. Dr. Baxter, you hear a pickup truck approaching and pulling to a stop.
Magnificent. It is very magnificent. Don't you think, Mr. Saladin?
Yes, indeed. I'm going to hop out and go inside.
Mr. Saladin, I have what a strange man. What a very strange man.
He is very strange.
Yes, very strange indeed.
He'll warm up. I'm sure he'll warm up to you later. He has with everybody. Heck, he's even formed something that resembles acquaintance with Dr. Long.
Yes. Well, when we picked up Zeb, I noticed he had a few cuts and bruises. If anyone else has any cuts and bruises, I have some medical training. So.
Hello, Cuthbert. Saladin, I'm surprised to see a new face.
Oh, hello. I'm Dr. Arlo Augustine III. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I root around in my stuff, and please take this pen.
Oh,
It is a gift. Yes, a pen.
thank you.
There you go.
He's a doctor. He could help you with those wounds you have, Philip. I'm worried that you might be infected. Maybe I don't know.
I like the idea of having fresh eyes on them, although they were dressed just late this morning.
Yes, and I
Perhaps
just
there'd
have
be
some.
assistance looking at Sylvia too, Dr. Baxter. Do you think?
What's your experience, Dr. Augustine?
Oh, I am a psychologist, but in my training, I did do some medical. I was originally going to be a doctor of medicine, but I went into psychology instead. So,
Well, Ms. Thomas, does Dr. Augustine know why?
No, I filled Mr. Cuthbert in, but Dr. Saladin and Dr. Augustine were in the back of the vehicle.
Where did Saladin go?
I don't. He's been acting very odd today, more than usual.
Ms. Thomas, Cuthbert, Long is up at the fire station, and Sylvia is not alone in her condition.
Oh,
And
we need to go get him. He shouldn't be alone.
He does not want to be alone. The footprints are up there as well, and there's more and stranger animal activity. So we need to circle the wagons.
Throw Dr. Augustine into the deep end, but if we think he could be of use in examining these,
well,
consider yourself an open-minded man, Dr. Augustine.
I kind of have to be in my profession, you see. I get some very strange people.
We've had some very strange events, and I fear they're going to get stranger.
Well, if there's someone in need of help, I'm always a man who likes helping people. So
we're all in need of help. The open-mindedness you're going to witness is past help.
Well,
Philip, you mentioned
would be nice.
Footprints. So I was talking earlier with Edith. There's another type of footprint you're finding, not just from the large ape-like type creature.
Yes, they're at Mrs. England's. They're here and they're at the fire tower as well. I can show you one that we haven't tried to cast over here, but we should.
If Dr. Long is
not just at her farm.
They're here, there, and everywhere, and they seem to be watching us. They seem to be, I would go so far as to say, hunting us.
Oh my God! So if Dr. Long's by himself, we
need to go. Yes.
We need to get there right away.
Hunting. Well,
yes. Why don't Ms. Thomas? Why don't you take Dr. Augustine?
Okay.
And the three of you can come back together. And Cuthbert will.
Are you good with a gun, Dr. Augustine?
Are
you armed?
Yeah. Well, I left it in my car, but I do have a rifle in my boot. But that's back. I do have my revolver, though. I'm a fairly decent shot.
Not feel comfortable with. Yeah, I'd feel comfortable if someone who had a weapon go with me. Okay, we shouldn't waste any time, Dr. Long. He could be in real distress.
Yes. Yeah, he sounded upset, and he may have information about other people who know about these things, which we should retrieve.
Yes, we don't need to worry about putting my stuff anywhere. Leave it in the back. No one's going to take it. We're in the middle of nowhere. I'd rather go and help your friend.
Right. Okay. Let's go.
Oh, someone should probably go get that strange man. He might want to.
I'm gonna show Cuthbert and Saladin what we've seen here while you're fetching Dr. Long.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Sorry, I missed it. Well, let's go, Miss Thomas. Miss Thomas.
Let's go. Yes. Miss Thomas.
Yes.
All right. So Edith and Arlo are hopping into the truck to head to the fire tower. Let's stay at the observatory with Zeno, Cornelius, and Philip.
I'm going to bring Cuthbert over to where Vasily is molding some prints, and I'm going to go inside the observatory and call out for Saladin.
Dear God, look at the size of these things. Is this the largest of them?
This is representative. I think that there are 4 individuals. At least 4 individuals have been on site down at Sylvia's place. It was muddier there. There's a lot of grass here. But I've been trying, and I'll show him the map I've been making of what I've been able to figure out about their location so far.
This is fantastic.
And the thing about your map is that all the prints seem to be like in a closed system. So you don't find any tracks that lead in or lead out to the forest. It's almost as if they just appeared.
Mm-hmm. Did they get close to the tree line? Or
fairly close. Yeah, fairly close.
I mean, it's a forested mountain, so.
Yeah.
Cuthbert, I'm going to go and see about Zeno. He should see this too. Maybe one of us will brainstorm.
Yeah. Or I'll come with you. What the hell?
Vasily, we'll be right back.
Yes, I will rejoin Dmitri.
Very good. Zeno! Zeno!
Yes, what do you want?
In your mystic travels, have you ever run across giant crab people?
Where's Dr. Arlo?
He went up to the fire tower.
I don't trust him, man.
Your accent's thicker again.
It's our what did you say? Giant what?
Come outside, please, and look at these. First of all, you should know that Ida's mother is dead.
She's dead.
And the other dog is dead, but it's not rabies. Something cut the top off of Sylvia's head and removed her brains. And they did a much neater job than Silas did on me. It's a perfectly clean cut, and there's nothing in the brain pan except fluid. They took the eyeballs, and they took the dog apart as if it was a watch, and they wanted to see how every little part fit together. There wasn't a drop of blood in the house. And then there are these footprints all around her cabin, and they're around here too. Come and look at this. You believe in strange things. Explain this.
You said that the tops of their heads their brains were missing. Oh my God. There are legends in old books, especially here in the United States, in wild, out-of-the-way places, about giant lobster things that can fly, and they take people's brains.
For what purpose? What?
Nobody knows, but occasionally, from what I've guessed from these books, is they may live underground because their bodies sometimes wash up during floods during the rainy season, but they deteriorate extremely quickly. They rot away. Nobody's ever taken a photograph, but there are a number of folk tales about strange lobster things that wash down from the hills.
Well, there might be no photographs, but there are now footprints in plaster.
My God.
And the flight explains the patterns of the tracks I've seen, both here and at Sylvia's. They appear to just light and then move about, and then they don't wander off in any direction. Flying lobsters.
I know it. This is so preposterous. I would never have believed it, but here you suddenly said it. You have no knowledge of these
I've never heard any rumor of
folk
this.
tales.
No.
It's really very obscure in some texts.
How could we?
But they always take the brains.
Well, it seems like that's what happened up at the tower as well. Although,
And what did you say happened to the dog?
It was very systematically dismembered, but I don't mean cut into 5 pieces. I mean taken apart and laid out as though to be studied.
Yeah, like disassembled.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But how can we defend against it if it flies? I mean, we couldn't set up any sort of perimeter around the observatory if it's just going to fly over it.
The legends mention a buzzing noise. Have you heard a buzzing noise?
Yeah, I did, and so did Long. Although Long reported the dead man saying something about it speaking with a buzzing voice. I just heard a hum.
These things are not magical creatures. You should be able to shoot them with a shotgun or a gun if you see one. I think we need to be armed.
Well, luckily we picked up some more weapons this evening, or early this afternoon.
Does Long know about this? He's up at that tower.
There are prints up there and another corpse. He took Sylvia's truck up because he wanted to see the fire marshal, but the fire marshal is now
we may be in extreme danger.
But you say so far it's only seemed like they've attacked when a person
they've attacked solitary individuals.
Solitary. So we must
we know of
together. And they only attack at night. So
I heard the buzzing during the day. But
I'm not so sure that they would only attack at night. Why would these things? I mean, there's no legends in this area that I know of. Why would these things be here?
Well, and is there a relationship to Sylvia's ape man family and the meteor?
Yeah, it seems all of this started happening right after the meteor impact.
For a quiet hillock in the middle of nowhere in the center of America, it's a very busy place for the uncanny.
Makes no sense. I mean, the legends that these places come from, the Black Hills, these are remote places. These things don't want to be seen. I just hope they get back in one piece.
Well, they went up there armed, and the sun is not yet set, but we should establish observation for the overnight, certainly.
Sure.
If they're not back within, how long would it take to drive there?
Oh, probably half hour to get one way, observatory to fire tower.
I'm remembering something.
So if they're not back in 2 hours.
I think actually there is a connection, because one of the places these things have been spotted is the Himalayas in India, and they're loosely associated with the abominable snowmen, which are big hairy creatures that live in the mountains.
Biologically, this is not making a great deal of sense to me. Flying lobster part is hard enough. Why would a flying lobster live in a cold place?
I'm just explaining that the things that I've read, they don't make any sense to me either. They always seem ridiculous.
But I'm willing to believe the ridiculous after we've seen the spiders and whatever that dreamland-like place was.
Now, if it's like other legends, perhaps it can all be explained. but you have to actually experience it. These are the way people interpret things with their minds.
The body of Mrs. England seemed more or less undisturbed, except for the important missing parts.
So
it
it
doesn't seem
wasn't done
as though
with
she
any
suffered.
no great violence then.
Didn't seem so, but the disarticulation of her pat. At first, we thought it was a throw rug on the floor. It was so, there was the fur and the bones and the sinew.
Like
It was
scientific investigation.
Yeah, it reminded me of sketches from Michelangelo.
So it's like
but
it's studying.
there wasn't any blood. So are these things in folklore vampiric? Because it was all.
It says that I've told you just about everything that it says in folklore. It of course they wouldn't even know how to write something like medical precision, or most of the time they're referred to as, I think the word in Tibetan, it means something like demon or monster,
We
Migoi,
call everything.
something like that. Migoi. I don't remember. It's been a while. Of course, this should all be nonsense. This could be complete and utter nonsense. It could be something else.
It does seem like it's probably nonsense, but these prints are unlike anything I've seen or can make any explanation for. And they are all around us.
Yeah, you found many of them. And this would be one of the most elaborate hoaxes, but it's in conjunction with these horrific brain
These two gruesome murders.
We have to forego pretense.
It doesn't sound like they're just killing out of malice, but out of curiosity with the dissection and disassembly. I just wonder why they're doing this.
It makes me want to have a shotgun on me at all times. I asked Vasily and the other one if
Dimitri,
if they have shotguns.
I've got my handgun, and I also picked up a shotgun at the general store earlier today. So that's one spare weapon.
Well, I think if you hear buzzing, get ready to shoot whatever it is that's buzzing and look up.
I think there'll be rather less vodka consumed tonight and whatnot.
We should always stick together. We should never be.
We need to be at least pairs awake at all times until we're off this mountain.
I've just drank 2 large shots of vodka. And, I think I'm completely sober.
Oh, you'd be more so if you saw these bodies. And this is another question that we've had some debate about. Whom should we call about this matter? Do we want the revenuers down here taking photographs and stomping around? Do we want to deal with the sheriff's department, who are certainly yokels?
Just lock us up for being insane.
There's 2 murders up here, though. We can't.
Precisely. We have to do something about that.
Cover that up. That's a crime. We've known horrible crimes have been committed. We need to alert someone.
Crimes.
Yes, is it a crime?
Crimes are things that you can find the perpetrator and make them pay for their crimes. If these creatures did this, you're not going to find them. You're not going to pay for the crime. Well, I say get rid of the bodies.
And we have to prepare ourselves. Forgive me, Cuthbert. It's not just the flying lobsters. This form of rabies is Long says that it's infected robins up there at the fire tower. We saw robins with white eyes feasting on a fox.
There are too many things going on here. We have the large hairy creatures, the Sasquatch. At least we have one of them, who you said is damaged.
Yeah, he was horribly wounded all along one side of itself, burnt, scorched.
I believe
Down.
Sylvia suggested that was a group, though. I believe that Edith said that she thought that there were more than one of those.
It must have something to do with the meteorite.
Well, as long as there's a mystery about, I'm fine investigating this. But there are 2 dead people here, and I think it would be foolhardy for us to continue on without notifying at least the local sheriff.
What will you tell him?
That there have been 2 murders.
And then what? We would be the only suspects.
Well, we could all vouch for one another.
Then we would all be the suspect. We could be.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of people living out in the woods. Maybe some of them have gone a little bit loopy.
I say get rid of the bodies because people go missing in the woods all the time.
What I say is that this debate is going to be ongoing for a little while, and we should all weigh in before we make a rash decision.
How is Edith?
She's in shock, but she seems to be bearing up very well considering. The screams that came out of her when she saw her mother's condition were memorable. But she seems to be fully in command of her senses.
Have we told Dmitri and Vasily?
Not about the deaths, no. Just about the big bugs.
Is he just outside? What's he doing? Is he by himself?
They're both in the observatory.
We need to let them know. It's people are dying up here.
We need to all get together, yes. Hopefully they'll be back very soon.
Yeah, if they're not back in 2 hours, we should take that other truck out there and go up to make sure, see what's happened to them.
I don't think that those.
Can the fire tower see the observatory or vice versa? Are they in direct line of sight?
You can see the fire tower quite at a distance, and it just simply looks like a dot of light against the backdrop of the mountains.
Does anybody know Morse code? Perhaps we can send them a signal. How about the radio?
Well, yeah, we could just radio them. Why not just radio?
That's how Frederick got in touch with me.
Tell them to be extremely careful.
Well, Frederick, I mean, that's why Edith and this, I'm sorry, what's the new fellow's name, Cuthbert?
Arlo Augustine III.
Anyway, that's why they haired up there. Frederick has Sylvia's truck. He could have come down by himself. He just didn't want to be alone.
Okay.
So that, but we can go inside and try to explain to the Russians the empty skulls of their neighbors, and then radio the tower and see that Frederick's out of there and on his way.
Yeah, I'll radio the tower, and you can go chat with Dmitri and Vasily. They need to know.
In the observatory.
Oh, it's all in the same. Oh, that's all.
All right. So you guys are going to go into the observatory as the camera changes and moves, and we join Edith and Dr. Arlo in the pickup truck as they're driving and approaching the fire tower. Edith, up ahead, you see 2 trucks are parked at the base of the fire tower. One you recognize as your mother's, Sylvia's truck, and the other is a brown truck with yellow stenciling, labeling it as department, forestry department vehicle, state of Montana. As you guys get out of the truck, there's an odor, and you look, and there is a torn, asunder carcass of a fox nearby.
Oh my God!
Things have been very strange, Dr. Augustine, and I don't think I can quite prepare you for what you're going to see, but you shouldn't just go in there blind. The man up there is dead, and
I saw some horrors, miss. In the war, I saw some horrors. But
okay, I just brace yourself. It's just awful and strange.
Yes, don't
Let's
worry.
go. I want to be out of here as soon as possible. Let's get Dr. Long.
I'm more worried about you, miss. I feel like you will benefit from a talk, not me being psychologist, but we will continue moving on, just a normal outside talk.
Okay, yes. Yeah, let's get to Dr. Long.
You guys begin to ascend this very long and tall set of stairs that zigzag up the structure, holding up the fire tower. Each of you, please give me spot hiddens.
Regular success.
That is a regular success.
You guys also notice as you're heading up, every now and then you see these strange football shaped objects that are like resin webbing is securely holding them to the iron structure that holds up this fire tower. So as you continue to go up and up and up and up, you'll see several of these things around. 3 of them secured to the structure itself, and then the 4th and final one secured to the underside of the watchtower building at the top. Also, something else you notice as you're ascending this stairwell that goes up, you keep hearing the fluttering of feathers, and looking about you, you guys begin to see robins and cardinals and blue jays and finches, and they all just begin to start to land on the structure. And all of these birds have these milky white eyes, and they just simply watch you as you begin to ascend. And as you continue to get higher and higher and higher, there's just more and more birds come in and start landing on the structure and observe you guys going up. Finally, after quite a walk, you get to the top, and the top is a observatory platform that goes all the way around the building itself, and there is a door to go inside. But when you get here to the top, each of you, please give me another spot hidden.
Edith, we need to be careful, miss.
Fail.
That's a fail as well.
You guys are awesome. There's a door.
Yeah, I'm gonna hurriedly knock. Dr. Long, are you in there?
The birds are watching this.
All right, I'm gonna move my makeshift barricade out of the way of the door.
Okay.
The birds.
And open it very slowly and peek.
And of course, there's windows everywhere, so you see Edith and a stranger outside the door.
Holding
Edith, who the hell is this?
Dr. Augustine, a friend of Mr. Cuthbert. I think they brought him back with them.
Yes.
Get in.
Yes, hello, Doctor. I'm Dr. Arlo Augustine III.
All right, I grab him by the shirt and I pull him inside, and I'm shutting the door.
I come in anyway. Out of compulsion, I take my tie. I don't have a gift on me. Take my tie, please.
Oh,
Thinks he might be able to examine Bob. He says he has some
medical
medicine.
doctor.
I have medical training. I am a psychologist, by the way.
I'm sorry, but this patient's mind has definitely wandered.
Well, I can have a look. But here, have this tie. I put it round Frederick's. Yes. I have a spare one in my bag somewhere. Yes, I'll take a look.
So yeah, there is a gentleman sitting in a chair, slumped over, with no skull cap and no brain and no eyes even. Each of you, please make a sand roll.
That is a success. 23.
That is, just barely a pass. Yeah.
Okay, well, with 2 successes, each of you lose 1, please.
I know what you mean. It's a rather mess in here. Well, I will see what I get I'll get in with a closer look. I will maybe some biology or whatever. medical biology.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'd say biology, that's slightly higher. So. Just 44 out of 50 on biology. So.
Okay. Yeah, this this certainly looks like a not too dissimilar to something that medical students might do to a cadaver, but even on a cadaver, you've never seen anything quite so cleanly cut, and you're baffled as to why there isn't more of a gore of blood spilled all over. It's your assumption that this gentleman was not deceased when this occurred to him. This is most likely his cause of death, and yet it's you're stumped as to where is the skull cap, where is the brain, why isn't there blood all over the place?
Well,
how could this have happened? It's very unusual.
This is bizarre. There's a lot of things that should be here and a lot of things that don't make sense, but I do believe this man well, obviously died of his wounds, but I think he was alive when he sustained some of the incisions.
This is not the only body we have like this. How would he have not put up a struggle of some kind? He's just sitting in a chair like it's a Sunday afternoon.
It depends. Sometimes a sedative or even some plants are known to paralyze. Could have been paralyzed, and he would be he would be able to see what was happening to him, but not
wake.
Fear. Yes.
All right, we need to leave.
Yes, I agree. The bird, those birds out there. What's up with
they keep flying from the woods. I've been watching them from the window.
I don't like that. Let's get out of here.
Yes, I would suggest be careful.
Well, I have
a bird.
Well, as horrific as this may sound, I think we need to bring Bob with us.
What are we gonna do with him?
It's not what we're gonna do with him. I have a feeling that if the birds are looking for a snack, better him than us.
That's true.
It is smart thinking, I guess. Morbidly smart. Well,
who's going to carry Bob?
I am not very strong. Again, I propose ideas without the capability of doing it myself.
I'm not a bad shot, and I have a gun. If something attacks us, I can be on the alert, but I'm not very strong.
Well, I'm not that strong, but I'm probably better than you two, so I wouldn't give it a go. I've been here less than a few hours, and I'm already doing some fucking work. Well, let's get on with this. And
describe how you pick up and carry Bob's corpse.
Well, I am going to basically just put him on my
fireman carry.
I don't, because going by the lack of blood and things in there, I'm not too worried about things just spilling out on me. But
sure. All right. So you toss Bob over your shoulder, and there was a small pool of brain juice in the skull cap that is now dribbling down your back and down your back pant leg as well.
Maybe just toss him over the side, Dr. Augustine.
It will be fine.
It will be distraction.
It will be fine.
Awesome. All right. So you guys begin to descend.
Yes. If I see the birds are starting to get a bit more hungry-eyed or closer, I will chuck the body over like Edith.
There are so many birds now perched on these scaffolding, and the stairwell is inside the scaffolding it's not exterior. So the stairwell's protected by the scaffolding that holds up this entire building. There's so many birds on the scaffolding. It's shading and obstructing a lot of your vision outward beyond the scaffolding, because there are so many birds, and there's just this chorus of cooing from the birds, and they're kind of hopping around, and you guys begin to descend. You get about
out. I'm ready.
You get about halfway down, and some of the birds begin fleeting from the outer scaffolding, and they come inward to some of the handrails that are holding that are part of the stairwell that you're on. Some of them are on the steps in front of you, and some are landing on steps back behind you.
Well, birdies, have some food, and I'm just gonna chuck it. If I see, even if you don't go fully over, even if he kind of just hangs over the rail or whatever, he's going.
Okay, give me a strength roll.
That's a fail. 75 out of 50. That's fail.
All right. Yeah. So you chuck him off the side, and he begins to plummet, but he doesn't get chucked very far out, and so he ends up hitting some of the stairwell that's directly below you, one of the multiple zigzags below you, and he seems to get all entangled in handrail and stair, and his corpse is just a twisted mess on the stairs below you. So in a couple of zigzags, you're gonna have to hop over him or move him, but he's making it a little bit slick for you to do that. As the body fell, the birds that were down there at that lower level, a lot of them do zip, they flock in and start landing on the corpse, and they begin to violently start
Move
pecking
quickly.
at the corpse.
Don't mess with the birds. That's not touch the bird.
Well, yes. Let's keep going quick.
So do you guys start to run, or what are y'all doing?
No, just keep moving at a very
good pace.
Stay calm. Okay.
All right. I would like everyone to give me stealth rolls, please.
Nope, 86.
I don't even know if this will matter, but I spent 2 luck to pass it.
Oh, I actually passed, just barely.
Oh
but
boy.
What is your marching order?
I guess.
I'm assuming the 2 with the guns would be front and rear, and then
I'd have been
Dr.
in the
Long, there's not
middle.
much of a shot in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be in the back.
All right,
And I'll
so
be at the front.
I'm
all right,
in the middle.
so Augustine was leading this troop. Thomas was in the rear, and Long was in the center. And so Edith, you guys are kind of coming down the stairwell, and one of Dr. Long's shoes seems to strike one of the metal posts, and it kind of rings like a bell a little bit on this metal stairwell. And as it does, Edith, you witness a small group of birds flock in right at Dr. Long and try to attack. Dr. Long, what is your dexterity?
My dex is 50, but I do have a shotgun.
You do have a shotgun. Weapon is at the ready. So I will let you fire first. Careful how you roll.
22 is a success.
Awesome. So no need to roll damage. But yeah, you blast that cannon, and the group of birds that were in front of the weapon, they all just explode in blood and feathers. And that was enough to scare away the other group. and you can almost see like a ripple effect of all the birds kind of hopping and changing position after that tremendous thunder, which
more
does
bodies coming.
open an opportunity for you guys to bolt down the stairs.
Yep, run,
Quick.
Awesome.
Back on your fallen brethren, please leave us alone.
Awesome. So there are 3 vehicles down there. I'm going to make the assumption that Dr. Long also grabbed Bob's keys. So you have the park ranger vehicle if you so desire. But there are 3 vehicles, and there's the 3 of you as you guys are running down. I need everyone to make a listen roll, please. You have successfully run to the bottom of the stairwell, and you're now able to run towards the trucks.
At 74, my ears are still ringing.
Sure.
I succeeded by 1, so that's a success.
Edith?
No, I was a 95.
Okay. So you guys get down to the ground level. You're going to be running for trucks. Arlo, everyone's ears are kind of ringing from that shotgun blast that went off. But Arlo, you feel like you can hear something kind of on top of that ringing noise, and it's this seems to be like a buzzing sound. And then there seems to be like words laced in there, and it goes, save me, help me, Edith. You hear that in the undertone with the buzzing. There are 3 vehicles. What are you guys doing? Dr. Long, you arrived in Sylvia's truck, and Edith, you and Arlo arrived in your truck. What do you guys want to do?
I'm heading straight for my truck. Dr. Augustine, if you want to take that brown one, it might be better for all of us to have a vehicle.
Okay, but what if we were required to shoot some more birds?
Run them over? I don't, just follow my truck.
Okay. And I warn you, I'm not the best driver, but
well, here you go.
Well, I can drive, but not on these weird roads, dirt roads or whatever. But yes, on we go.
All right, you guys step on the gas and tear out of there like thunder and lightning, and the birds stay behind. So you guys are able to make your escape from the fire tower.
Okay.
All right. About a half hour later, you guys are returning to the observatory.
Did we hear the shotgun off in the distance?
No, too far away.
So they're coming back to the observatory?
And I think as they tear off and the day is wearing on, so evening is approaching, I think that's a good place for us to call it for the evening.
Okay. Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Holly Buteau, Stuart Lipley, Josh Harwood, David Gasway, and myself, with John Hook as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck good gaming.